How's it going, everybody? Civil here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys my two favorite hot routes that are in Madden. You can use them together. You don't always have to use them together. I'll show you with them being used together. I'll show you with them being used not together. But at first I will show it together just so you get the gist of it. And we're just going to play Dagger, and we'll put a random zone defense on here, and then let me fix the camera real fast and move the ball back. So obviously when you're running a trip set, you're going to want the ball to the short side. The formation to this does not matter. The play call doesn't really matter that much. It's just going to be these two hot routes and how we're going to use them together. And it's going to be a zig and a comeback. And so right here I'm going to put X on a comeback and Y on a zig. And then to set just the rest of this play up, we're going to put A on a fade. And so the whole reasoning behind this is that we're going to make the defense choose, basically. They're going to have to double flat the left side while also using the deep crosser. So it's going to really be putting the defense in a situation where the users, typically they're not going to double flat the trip side, and then if they do, then they still have to user that deep crosser. So the way we're going to do this is to get good timing on the zig is we're going to motion it in and snap it. And so right here you see it became match-man coverage, and the zig is going to beat match-man every single time. That's just what zigs do. Zigs, man coverage doesn't really do anything to zigs. It just doesn't matter. So we'll run this a few times, and once again, like, this play doesn't necessarily matter a whole lot. Once again, we get the zig on the match-man. But you want to run this play with other routes that need to be usered, need to take attention from the user, because if a user's over there and he's defending the zig, it's kind of scary to throw the comeback just because he is in the vicinity of it. But here we're gonna run it again, and once again we have our zig. Now I'm gonna see if we can throw the comeback next time. It just depends on what the coverage is, really. And once again, like I said, I'm not really showing you the deep crosser because the point of the play isn't the deep crosser so much, as that's just kind of to distract the user. So we got hit right there, but we did have the comeback open. The comeback's something that you have to kind of time. You're not going to get it your very first time ever throwing the comeback, just because it is a big timing route. But here we will be able to get it, and you see that is open. Against certain coverages, shaded underneath coverages, man-to-man coverages, the comeback's going to be open a lot. And if that's not the case, then chances are the zig is going to be open. And for this particular play, if neither are open, I forgot to put the comeback on right there. But if the zig and the comeback both aren't open, the deep crosser is going to be open. So right here, we're going to do it again, and we see that was pass light up. You want pass lead outside, but that was worst case scenario, and that was just a deflection. But when there's someone on him, you want to make sure you don't pass lead up. Right there, I passed it up, and that was why that happened. Right there, we take our zig and we get 3 or 4 out of it, and that's really, zigs aren't going to be breaking off huge runs, but you have to take your checkdowns. I mean, if you watch J-Wall, if you watch any of the Madden clubs over this past couple days, you have to be willing to take your checkdowns. That's what J-Wall does great. That's what really separates him, and that's what separates a lot of these guys. But we're going to show it again here. We're going to have the comeback here. Don't have the time for it because of practice mode, but we're going to do it one more time. So once again, it was a over top coverage, and we're able to hit our zig for a good 8 yards. And so that is a good way of doing it out of a trip set. I'll show you out of a few more sets. I'll show you what zig routes by themselves can do, because zig routes are pretty annoying to defend on themselves. And actually, I will just use this as a demonstration. We're still going to go with the play Dagger, just because with these routes, they can be usered. So you want other routes to kind of pull the user. Right here we have the deep crosser still. That's going to make the user have to respect it. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to put Gronk on a zig and motion Edelman out. And we're going to see what happens with this. So what happened is, I'm going to jump an instant replay real fast. I made the read kind of late, but this is going to be another type of read that you can make with this zig. Is that when he comes down, if he's gonna come down like this, you're gonna have a high ball right here. You're gonna want someone a little bit better than Edelman doing it, a little bit bigger. But you see there was a pocket right here. I just threw it way late. And even though I did, there was a little bit of pocket, just kind of a overthrow outside. But this, when the coverage is when it's a hard fly over here, this is the read you're gonna make, because you see how he's coming down. So the zig is still open somewhat. It won't be picked. It might be dropped, but that's the read you're gonna want to make with that. So that's just another like route combination that it's more unique. It's more advanced. So once again, we're gonna put Gronk on a zig route and Edelman on a streak. And right here, we have the zig. And if you're doing it with the tight end, you're gonna be able to truck. You're gonna be able to, you know, make some miss. It's gonna be really easy to pick up extra yards. So once again, we're just gonna show it here. It's really that simple. They're gonna have to start usering it, and the thing about it is that it will sit on the sideline for a moment. So let's say they user it, and then they want to go up to the crosser. I'll show you what well, I won't do it to mimic the user necessarily, but I will show you what happens with the zig. It was actually covered right there, and that's why you have extra routes. That's why you have something like the dagger or the crosser route to be able to throw in case it is covered, because it's not going to be open every single play. Once again, open. If you can start making people adjust to you hitting checkdowns like this for 10 yards, your offense is going to open up a lot. And once again, this formation is not super important. Here we see once again, but this play right here is not super important. It's just having other things to make the user respect, so they can't take it, so the user themselves can't take it away. Because for them to take away this zig with zones, really it's gonna take two zones. It's gonna take a shaded underneath the vert hook and a hard flat. You see, like, this is why it's getting so open. Because even right there, like, the vertical hook played it for a moment. Here, let me jump in instant replay. So we watch the zig right here. I mean, it's kind of played. It's not like a good throw right here. That's a vertical hook shade underneath. Right here, it's open. So, like I said, it's gonna take two. It's gonna need him to be in a hard flat as well. And if they're committing two zones to take away a zig route, it's easy. It's really easy from there to be able to move the ball. I will jump into another formation real fast just to show it from another formation. I'm in Kansas City playbook, so I'm not necessarily sure what I'm going to show it out of. But, show it out something like this, where I can go, so random zone defense, and we're going to put Gronk on the zig, and we have Dorsett on the comeback. So you see zig's open right there. That is something you have to be willing to hit, is him as he pivots out. So as he pivots out of the whip part of the route, so like right here, you just need to have a little bit better stick than I did, but you have 4 yards right there, and you have the possibility for a lot more. Once again, and there we have the comeback. And so that's really what it's going to start becoming, is a game just like that. Then you can start doing other stuff. But once again, like this right here is a route combination with the zig and the comeback. Then you can start doing stuff like this just to hold the user, just to get them away from it. And the comeback's open again because it was underneath coverage. Something to know about the comeback is that if you get scared for whatever reason, and like say you're about to take a sack or something, but you don't want to throw the ball away for whatever reason, if you highball the comeback as it turns around, and of course as I say that, it doesn't happen, but let me show it again real fast. It was because I backed off. If you highball as it turns around, it's gonna be overthrown 9 out of 10 times. So if you're afraid of taking if you're afraid of taking intentional grounding, that is something you can do. I'm going to show it one last time right here. Once again, we have the comeback. It's a really easy read. It really is really simple. The other route combination you can do out of this is with no zig but a comeback, or you can do something like this, where you have basically you're basically you're gonna make them double flat. And once again, if they have to double flat, a lot of other things are open in the offense. Right there we see the drag pulls down the zone, and we're able to hit the comeback right behind it. If the zone didn't fall down the drag, we would be able to hit the drag. Once again, we're gonna have the comeback, and I threw it a little early, and that's one of the things I was talking about is a timing throw. But basically, you guys can kind of see the gist of this. You can really implement this into any offense. It's good. It is a really good tendency breaker. It's a really good thing to make them adjust to. And once they adjust to this, a lot of other things open up in terms of, you know, deep crossers getting open, bombs getting open, them not being able to send pressure, the run game being opened up by this, or just a user getting frustrated by you taking checkdowns over and over again. This style of play is something that you saw a lot in the Madden Club Championship, and is something that is really important to becoming better on offense and not getting stagnant on offense. But that's it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.